All right, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to make this simple food application in Flutter where we're going to use Provider for the state management of the cart products. So we can do this. We can add the product to the cart. As you can see, we have two sections of the products. We have the trusted picks, of which are in a horizontal list view, and then we have the recommended, which is in the horizontal list view. So then we can go to the cart screen where we have our products. So as you can see, the products are listed once, but the quantity is what increases when, okay, let's go here. When we click on when we add the product twice or maybe thrice or any amount of time that you can get to add it. So we've added the same product. We have increased the quantity by 4. So then we can remove and we can see the price updates accordingly. So if this is something that you find interesting and you would want to make this, you can stay to the end of this video. So with all that said, let's see how we can make this. All right, so to get started, we're in the main.dat. We're going to clear everything going down here. So we clear that. Then we're going to make a new folder called screens. Then in this folder, we're going to have the home screen, .dat. Then this is going to be a stateless widget. Then we just simply say home screen. So here we're going to return a simple scaffold, which is going to be blank for now. Then we go back to the main.dat and just return it right here. We simply say home screen. Then we just have to import it right there. Then we refresh this. So there we have a blank screen. Then we can just remove this debug banner. So we simply say debug banner check, then simply say false since it's expecting a Boolean value. Then we refresh that again. So this is actually going to be an MVVM approach to building this simple food application. So we're going to have the models, the views, of which is the screens in our case, the views, then the view model, which is going to be the providers. These are going to handle the state management for adding things to the cart and displaying the values and the length of products inside the cart. So this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have the models for the data structure. So with all that said, let's make the folder structure. So firstly, we're going to have the models. So this is going to hold the data structures. Then next, we're going to have providers. These are the view models, so providers. Then next, we're going to have the widgets. So these are going to be reusable components that we're going to reuse in our application, such as the top bar, what's going to be in the top bar. Then we're going to have a folder called constants. These are going to be values for colors that we're going to reuse throughout our application, so to keep it uniform and not to keep repeating it. So inside the models, we're firstly going to have the product model. So we simply call it product.dat. So it's simply going to be a class. We name it product. So firstly, it's going to have properties. So properties. Then we're going to have the constructor. Then we're going to deserialize it. Serialize it. Then we're going to map it to a JSON, the object that we're going to deserialize here. We're going to deserialize from JSON to a dot object, and then from a dot object we're going to map that dot object to a JSON. Simply say to JSON, then here from JSON. Then lastly, we're not actually going to fetch this data from a database. We're just going to have a simple JSON, a simple list with products here, and it's going to have objects, a list of objects, and I'll show you that in a bit. So this is the plan that we have for our product. But before we do that, let's go back here on the constants and have our colors. So we're simply going to call it up colors dot dot. Then it's also going to be a class, and then we simply call it up colors. Then here we're going to have the BG color, then the foreground color. This is just going to be, well, we're just going to use it for the banner. And then lastly, we're going to have the buttons color. Okay, so this is what we have. I already have these colors, and I'm just going to simply put them in this project. So these are the colors that we have. So then we can simply just go to the home screen. Let me show you how we can use these colors. Then here we just give this a different background color. So forget that. Sorry, that was Copilot doing its thing. So we can say background color. Then we can simply say up colors. So we're simply getting this from this class name. So up colors dot. Then let's import this first, because it's simply just going to give us errors. So up colors, then dot, we give it the background color. Then let's see what we have. We're going to see the color change here. Okay, so it's changed. You can't see it because it's similar to the background color that was there. Okay, so we have established the colors. So next thing is we're going to have a body inside here for the scaffold. So body, of which is just simply going to retain a single child scroll view. Child scroll view. Then inside here, we're going to have a column. Column is going to have children. So this is actually going to be a child of this. So simply say child. Okay, so that error is gone. Then let's format this. Okay, so the first child is going to be the top bar. So to do that, we have to keep this as simple as possible and as easy to refactor as possible. So we simply go to the widgets. So inside the widgets folder, we're going to have a widget called top bar dot dot. Okay, so let me name it top bar widget, top bar widget dot dot. Then this is going to be a stateless widget. So simply say stls, stateless widget, then simply name it top bar widget. So inside here, we're going to have a row. Okay, so we're simply just going to return a row. Then this row is going to have children. Okay, so let's format this, like give it a semicolon. Okay, so in here, we're firstly going to have a top, an icon, of which is an icon for the location. Then we're going to have the location text. Okay, then on the other row, we're going to have two rows inside this row. So in the other row, we're going to have the favorite icon. Then on the other row, or the other icon is going to be a bell for the notification. So with these, I'm going to install a package called Lucid Icons. So you can actually go to the pub.dev to actually install that. I'm sorry about that. This is Copilot doing its thing. Okay, so while we are at the installation of this, we can install the packages that we need. So we're going to install the Lucid Icons, then Google Fonts, and then lastly, a provider for the state management. Okay, so all you have to do is just press enter. I already have these packages installed in my project, as you can see here. So with that, you can just run this command, then you're going to have all the dependencies in your project. So you can go back here. So here we're going to have another row inside this row. Then we simply say children. So inside these children, the first icon we're going to have is the map pin. So we say icon. So this is how you use Lucid icons. Icon. Okay, I will just turn off Copilot. So we simply say icon, then we say Lucid icons dot, then we simply say map in. Okay, then this is going to give an error, so you just simply import this. So as you can see, it's been imported up there. So in Windows, we just simply click on Control and space to get that drop down. So the next thing is we're going to give it a color. So the color is going to be gray. Simply say colors.gray. Then we give it a shade of 700. Then we can give it a size of 30. So here we say size property of 30. Okay. Then here, so this is our first icon. So this is going to be in this in the top bar. So we can simply go to the home screen here, and then just simply import the top bar widget. Top bar widget. Then let's refresh that to see what we have. All right, so we have the location pin there on top. So we just simply have to give it some spacings. So say sized box. Okay, sized box. Then we give it a height of 40. And just refresh that. All right, so this is where we want it to be. So let's go back to the top bar. Okay, so inside the first row, we're going to have the location text. So just simply copy this. This blueprint is supposed to be here. Okay, we can give it a text. So I'm just going to hard code this because we're basically not fetching anything from the database. So we're just here for the design. So we can simply say New York as it is suggested. Okay. Then, all right. So next we just give it some space between the two icons. So let's refresh that. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Then the next thing is we're just going to copy these two and have another row. So simply say a row. Sorry about that. Simply say a row. And children, then we paste this in here and just format this a little bit. Then for the sake of this video, we can just copy this and just paste it here. Since we're going to have the same the icons from the same package, then can have the same spacings between these two as well. So here, the first one is going to be the heart. Okay, for the favorites, then the bell for the notification. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. All right, so we have those that so far. Then the next thing is we're going to have a main axis alignment, or which is just going to simply be space between. Okay. Then so that we have space between these two rows. Okay, so far so good. So then we can just wrap this inside a padding. So we're going to have to give it spacings on both edges. So that's the horizontal axis. So I'm going to simply say symmetric. Then we come in here and say horizontal. Then we give it 16. All right. So let's see what we have. All right. So far so good. We have that. And then the next thing is the search input. So let's go back to the home screen. Then down here, we can give it the search input bar. Then let's go back here. Then we can still go back to the widgets. So here we're simply just going to call it search input dot, which is going to be a stateless widget. Okay, so we'll simply say search input. So this is going to actually have a container. So we say container, then we can give it a height, the height of 50. Then we give it a decoration. So we simply say decoration. Then we say box decoration. Okay, let me remove one of these, giving an error. Okay, so here we can go back to the home screen and simply just import this so that whenever we make changes, we can see them there. So say search input in this, then we just simply have to import it. Okay, search input, and we just import it. All right, so we have it there. So let's go back to the search input. Then here we can give it a color. So we give it a color of white. Simply say colors dot white. Don't mind the code suggestion down here. This is Copilot doing its thing. Then we can give it the border radius as well as the box shadow. So we'll say border radius and border radius dot circular. Then this is actually going to be 30. So we want it to be a bit of rounded at the end, at the edge, both edges, in the horizontal axis. Then the next thing is we're going to have the box shadow for the shadow. So say, let me give it this. Let's say box shadow. Okay. Then the thing is, the first color we're going to have is the first thing we're going to have is the color. Let's say okay, we say the colors dot black, which is going to be 12, which is a lightish black. Then we're going to give it a blur radius, radius of 4. Okay, then the next thing is we're going to have the offset. So offset, then say offset, then we give it 0.2. All right, so far so good. This is what we have so far. So as we had noticed, the design from our main app, that so we had this. So we have an icon, then we have the text. This is the search input, the hint. Then we have this small container right here. Then we have a microphone at the end. So this is the part that we were at. So let's go back. So firstly, we're going to have a row inside here, and it's going to have children. So let's say children. Okay, then in here, so the first child is going to be the search icon. So we're going to have the search icon, of which is still using this Lucid package that we have in our app. Then we're going to give it a color. Simply say colors dot gray. Then next we're going to have a text field, of which is going to be inside and expanded. So it's expanded. Then the child is going to be a text field. Okay, let's format it. All right, so it's going to have a decoration. Then we say input decoration. And firstly, we have a hint. So we say hint text, which is simply just going to say search. The next, we're going to have the hint text style. So hint, so that we style this text that we have here as that's the hint. Then we simply say text style. Okay. Then we just simply give it a color. Say color, colors.gray. Then we give it a shade of 600. Then we come out here. Then we say border. Then we give it a border, input border. Border dot none, so that it does no border. So far so good. Let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have. It looks messy. All right, so let's go to the home screen. Then we give it the same size, some spacings between. So we simply bring it down here and refresh this. So all right, this is the spacings that we have. All right, so let's go back to the search input. So here, so far, what we have is we have these two, and then we have the container. So what we are remaining with is just these two. Okay, so let's go back. All right. The next thing is we just have to come out here and put a container. So simply say container. Then in here we give it a height of let's say 24. Then the width, since that is going to have a very small width, so we're going to give it a width of 1, which is very small. Let's go back here. So this is going to be the width. As you can see, it's very small. Then here, the next thing we're going to give it is the color. So we say color, then we say colors dot gray. And I know I regret I should have put these colors in the constants. I'm going back on my words here. Then we give it a margin. So margin, then we say edge inset, so which is symmetric. Then we give it, say, horizontal. Then we give it 12. Okay, give it a margin. Then we can come out here. Then here, last thing that we have to do is an icon. I couldn't find a suitable icon for the using Lucid, so I'm just going to simply use the Flutter icons. So the ones that the icons, I mean, not the Flutter icons, I mean the icons that come with material. Then say mic, then we give it a color. So here we're going to say colors dot gray. Then we have this error here. We give it some space. Give it a comma. Then let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then we can give it some space here between these two. So let's go here between the expanded and between the expanded inside, which has a text field inside, and the icon for the search. So we can give it a sized box. Then we give it width, and this is simply just going to be 10. All right, so let's refresh this. All right, so far so good. It looks closer to what we have currently. So we can just go back here. Then we can simply just come here and wrap this inside the padding. Okay, so say padding, then obviously it's going to be symmetric again. Then we say horizontal. horizontal, then we give it 16 again. Okay, then we just refresh this. All right, so that's what we have so far. Then we can come down here. On the row, we can wrap this inside the padding as well. So just say padding. Then again, it's going to be symmetric, and then 16 again. So we can just copy this for the sake of the video. Copy this. Then we just paste it here. Then we remove one period. And let's see what we have. All right, so yeah, this is more like it. This is what we have so far. Okay, so the next thing is we have to make this banner right here. So to do that, we can go inside our widgets folder. So let's go here, and we have to make the banner widget. Okay, so but before we do that, as you can see, we have these images. So these are local images that I have in on my computer right now. So I'm just going to copy these and put them in my app. So to do that, I'm going to come out here and create a new file called folder called assets. So these are the assets for our application that we're going to have. Okay, so assets, then let me close this. So I'm simply just going to come here. So I have these assets, I'm just going to copy them, then I'll just paste them in the assets folder, and just paste. All right, so once we have that, then we can go back to this folder, the pubspec.yaml. Then we can come here and just simply comment this. So here we're going to name it assets, then I put a / so that it picks everything that's going to be inside our assets folder. So after that is done, we can just simply refresh this. Okay, so once this is done, we can our assets will be ready to use. Okay, so next thing is we come back to the home screen. Okay, come back to the home screen, then we give it a sized box for some spacings. So we come here, and then we just reduce this to 20. Then here, this is where the banner is going to be actually. So we say banner. Then we can come here in our widgets. So inside the widgets, we can create a file called banner.dot. Then it's also going to be a setless widget. We'll simply call it banner. Okay, so here, simply just going to return container. The container, then we give it a height, say height of 190. Then we can give it the width, say double dot infinity, of which is going to fill up the size of the screen. And next we give it the decoration. So we say box decoration. It's going to be there. Then we give it the color. We simply say you get the color from the app colors, as we had done here. So it's actually banner, not discount color, banner colors. So here we simply say app colors. Then we have to import this. So we simply say then we say discount colors here. Then we can go back to the home screen. Then here we can simply say a banner. We import the banner. All right, so the banner is imported. I don't think so. Also, this seems like the like a keyword in here. So we can go back here and just rename this to banner widget to avoid that error. So widget. All right, so banner widget. Then we can come here and just replace this with widget. Okay, banner widget. Then we can come back to the banner. So in here, the next thing we're going to have is the border radius for the banner widget. So we say border radius, and we say border radius dot circular, then we give it 25. That's it. Okay, there's a typo here. Circular. All right, so that's the banner that we have so far. This is the color of the banner. Then, all right, so that's so far what we have. But then we need some spacings here at the edge, so we can give it a padding. Let's give it, okay, let's leave it at this. Then it does, okay, so we have that. All right, so we can go back inside the container. Then this is where the child is going to be. So we're going to have a row inside here. To say row, then it's going to have children. Okay, let me format this in here. So this is going to say child, and so the row is going to be the child of this container that we have here. Then nextly, we are going to have this column here for the discount, the weekend special, and the button. And then, so this is the container, right? So we have a row. So these two are in a row, but this one is a column inside this row. And then we're going to have this burger image here. So let's go back. Then here, we're going to have a column. This is the one leading. So it's a column. Then say children. And inside here, okay, children. Then the first child we're going to have is the discount. So we'll say text, the children. All right, so we'll say Google Fonts. So we had installed this Google Fonts in the package, as you had noticed earlier. So where is it? So we have a Google Fonts here. So we can go back here. So say Google Fonts, then we're just going to use the Inter, the font called Inter. Okay. So this is how you use Google Fonts. All right. So inside here, we're going to have the font size. Then it's going to be 25. Then the next thing is we're going to have the font weight. So font weight is going to be 500. So say font weight 500. Okay. So I think we're done with this. So the next thing is the promo name, so which is weekend special. Okay, so let's go back here. Give it some space, some commas. All right. So we can just simply copy this, then put it here. And we say weekend special. Okay. Then we can just reduce this to 15. Then the font weight, we just give it 300. Okay. So far so good. So here we're going to give it a font, the sized box of 30. Give it this space that's between the button and these two. So say this sized box. Then we give it a height since we're in the column. Okay, let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then next we're going to have the button. Okay, so this is where we're going to have a container. So we'll say, we can simply just say btn, then we'll say container, and inside here, inside the container, we're going to give it a height of 40. Okay, then the width, we give it a width of 100. All right, so don't mind this. This is the error that's coming because of Google Fonts. I've turned off my internet because the Copilot was giving issues, right? So you can come down here, then we say decoration. So this shouldn't give you cause so much alarm. So plus decoration, then we can say BR for border radius. Then we say border radius, then we say circular, then we give it 20. All right, then we can give it a color of white. So colors.white. All right, then we come out here, we can give it a child. The child is obviously just going to be text. So this is the text. The text is just going to say order now. Okay, so we're going to give it a style as well. Sorry about that. Style, and we simply give it a text style. And the first thing that we are going to have is the font weight. Then we give it a font weight of 500 like we did on the other ones. So font weight dot 500. And lastly, we come out of the column. Then here we're going to have an image. Okay, so simply go to say image dot assets, since it's coming from our application local storage here from our local setup. So we say assets, then we can give it an image of fries dot png. Let me check it. So assets of fries dot, it's actually jpg. Then we can reload this actually for us to see the changes. So we'll simply click here. All right, so this is what we have, which is not the image that we intended to get. So we simply say burger pic dot png. Okay, so see this. Okay, this is that Google font thing again, png. So let's reload this again. All right, so this is the right image that we have. So here, if you notice, this is very far from what we have here. So this font is not as thick as it is right here. Even if we zoom out, it's not as thick as it is right here. So, and the other thing you'll notice is this image is not tilted a bit. So we have to tilt this image, then center this text, then at least give this text a bit of some font weight. So let's go back. So here, we can just simply center this. Google Fonts error again. I can simply just wrap this with the center. Okay. Okay, well, I've centered this. Then we can come here to this text. Okay, the weekend special. Then we can just give it like 400 or 500 maybe. Then here we simply just have to wrap this inside so we can wrap with widget. Then we simply say transform so that we tilt it. Okay, and let's format this. Okay, don't mind those errors, it's just taking time to respond. Then we say alignment. Then you can say alignment. Then we give it an alignment of center. So let's remove this dot center. Then we can give it a transform to get rid of this error. So say transform. Then we give it a matrix 4 dot rotation. Yeah, so this is going to be rotation Z. Okay, then we give it negative 0.50. Okay, then we can just reload this and see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. So then we can go back to this row. Then here we can have let's firstly wrap this inside a padding. So give it the padding. So this is going to be symmetric. Okay, so it's a symmetric. Then it's going to be horizontal. Then horizontal, we're going to give it 16. Okay. Then in here, we're going to give it the main axis alignment of space between, so that we have space between these two elements in here. So say main axis alignment. Let's say space between, and let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then we can come inside here, then just repeat this main axis alignment. Then we can also give it a cross axis alignment. Let's say cross axis alignment dot start, and let's do this. Okay, then let's go. I think we've done most of the things here. We just have to fix this this design here. So we just have to come here and put this as center. Okay, I hope this fixed this. Right, so that is fixed. Okay, so that is fixed. So far so good. Then the next thing is let's come here. We have to go on the trusted picks and the trusted picks, and this is the trusted picks. So this is a list view with the horizontal scroll. So let's go there. Then next we're going to have the recommended. I didn't screenshot that yet, so let's go there. But the recommended part is the list. It's just a list view with a vertical scroll. So this is that Google Fonts again. So to do that, we have to go to have that list. We have to go to the products. So here we're going to have the properties. Sorry. So the properties, these are the properties that are going to define these products. So there is going to be a name, the price, the ratings, and the image as well. So this is what we're going to use. So firstly, we're going to have the properties, so which is going to be final string. Then we're firstly going to have the ID, then final string. Then we're going to have the name, then we're going to have the price, ratings, image, description, and then the category. So here, the next thing is we have to have a constructor. So we just, if you know about constructors, you simply call them the name of the parent class. So say here, sorry, I accidentally turned on data. Let me. Then we're just simply going to require everything in here. So required this dot id, then required this dot name. Okay, then we just have to do this for all the things. So for the sake of the video's length, let me just do it. All right, so everything is done in here, so we can just put a semicolon here. So we've required everything that we needed here. So the next thing is we just have to deserialize this these objects that have been created here. So we have to deserialize from JSON to a dot object. So we are just simply going to convert this JSON to a dot object that your app can easily understand and work with. So let me show you how we can do this. So we're simply just going to say factory, then we use the object name, so product, not process, product, I simply return the product. So we say product. Okay, then it gives us we just have to format this. Okay, so that is formatted. So we're just simply going to do this for all the fields in here. Then this one we're going to convert it to string, dot to string. Then we go on the name as well. Name, we give it this, then we say JSON. Okay, sorry about that, say JSON. So I'm going to do this for the rest of these, but for these, for the price, we have to convert it to double, since it's expecting a number. So it says on to say double. Okay, and we can just, let me just copy this, and here just replace this with rating. Then the image, this is just going to be a simple string, so JSON. Then the description as well. So let me just do this fast forward. So I've done this for the description and the category, because these might be empty. So now we have to map this. Okay, so we just have to map this to a JSON. So we have to map this product, the object, the product object, to JSON, so that is easier for us to transfer it between parts of the application. So this part is called serialization. So this is the process of converting a dot object into a JSON so that it can be easily transferred between different parts of your app. So this is what we're going to do. Simply going to say map, then we say string and dynamic key value. Okay, then we say to JSON, then just do this. Then here we're going to have okay, sorry about that, this is going to be an arrow function. So here it's going to be ID, it's going to expect an ID from the properties. Then we say name, it's going to expect the name from the properties name. So I'm going to do this for everything in here. So I've done this for all the other properties of the product, these properties on top here. So the next thing is I'm going to have a list of objects that we're going to fetch as products. These on the home screen. So let me do that. So here we're simply just going to say list. Let me say static list. Then it's going to have a product. In here it's going to be called products. Let me say equals to an empty list. And we do this so that we have those errors gone. Okay. We say product objects. Okay, so in here we're simply going to say product. Okay, so it has that, so we just have to replace these values. Okay, formatting this so that it's easier for you guys to read. So here the first ID we're going to manually put, well, I think we're just basically going to manually put everything. So the name, we're simply just going to call it what's the name here? Okay, Sir Burger. Then the price is just going to be $4.99. Then the rating is going to be 5.0. Then the image, we're actually going to get this from the assets. So we say assets / say burger. We can actually get these from, we're getting these from the assets. So I don't know if you want to use these assets as well. You can find the link in the description. That's where you can get the entire code and the assets as well. So say burger pick dot png, and then the description where you just put that as that. In the category, just like that. Okay, then here we need a comma. Okay, so I'm going to have a list of these objects, so I'm not going to manually put them one by one. I already have a list of objects that I'd used in my previous project, so I'm just going to simply paste them in here. You can find them, and you can find the code in the description as well. So let's do that. Okay, so these are those products. So this is simple. I would call it mock DB. So if you have your own database, you can fetch your things from there. So this is what we have. So the next thing is we're going to make a product card, this product card, and then we're going to fetch it here in an horizontal list view. So we can come back here to the home screen. Let's go back to the home screen. Okay, so after the banner we have the text. It will say picks. This is our daily picks. So we can, this is actually a row. Let me say children. We can give it children, and inside there we can give it text. We can have two text widgets. So the first one is just actually going to say you're trusted picks. Okay, give it a style. Then we say Google fonts. We just import the Google fonts. Then this one is going to be Roboto from Google. Roboto. Okay, and it seems like this didn't import. Just import it here. Okay, so that error is gone. Then here, we're going to give it a font size of 20. Then we also give it a color. The colors black. And next is the font weight. We give it a font weight. So the font weight is going to be 400. Then we can just duplicate this, copy, and sorry about that, just copy it. We give it a comma, Then we just reduce the font size to 18. Then the color, we give it gray, then 800. Okay. Then the font width, we just font weight, we just leave it the same. Right. So then we can come here and just give it a space between. So say main axis alignment, then main axis alignment, then we give it space between. Okay. Right. So let's see what we have. And we can come down here and say products. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So here we can give it a font width of 500. Then we just simply wrap this inside a padding. Then we say symmetric, then horizontal of 16.0. All right. So okay, that's just the Google font error thing coming back. All right, so this is what we have. Then we can give it the sized box here as well between the banner and the text, so that we have a little bit of some spacing here. So now let's go back to the widgets. Now here we can make product card dot. So we're going to have a product card, which is also a stateless widget. Then we name it product card. So this product card, the first property we're going to have here is the simply just going to say final product. Then we're going to import this from this product model that we made earlier. So we can just simply come here and just import this. Okay. Product, then we give it a name, product. Okay. So now we just have to import this. Okay. Then we can come down here and just required this dot product. Okay. There we go. So in here, we're just simply going to return a container. So this is let me show you. This is this design that we're going to make here. Then we're just simply going to come to the home screen. Where's the home screen? Come to the home screen. Then just import it in here after this right here. Okay, so let's do that. All right. So product, then we're just simply going to have a container. Then inside this container, we're going to expect these are the properties that we're going to expect. We're going to expect an image, the name, the price, the ratings. Yeah, just these four. So let's go back here. All right, so the first child we're going to have the first property we're going to have in here is the color. So say colors with white. But we're going to have a lot of properties in here. So in turn, we're just going to use a decoration. Let me say box decoration. Then in here, we can just give it the color. Then next, we can give it the border radius. Okay, with the 10. Okay, then we can have the box shadow. Okay, let's skip the box shadow for now, because these products don't have box shadow down there. So let's go back here. All right, so the child we're going to give it is a column. Okay, so child, it will say column. Then we say children. All right, so let me make a blueprint in here. All right, so the first thing we're going to have is the image, the name, the price, and the ratings. Okay, so for the image, we're going to use a clip rect that is going to have a child called image, which is going to fetch the image because these are local images that we have, like the way we fetch this image. So we're going to use the assets, image the assets. So here we're going to say clip rect, then the child is going to be image dot asset, right? So this clip rect is going to have a border radius, so say PR, no, not brightness, okay, oh sorry, I'm in the image, so say sorry about this mess. Wow. All right, so we can say border radius, then border radius, okay, dot vertical, then you can come in here and say top, okay, then we say radius circular dot circular, then we give it 5, okay. Then in here we're going to use this product to access the properties in here, okay. So we're simply going to say product dot, and you see it's going to give us these properties from our products model. So here we're going to say image, okay, but then we have to get this on the screen so that we can see what we're styling. So we're going to have these, which is going to be in an horizontal, we're going to have a horizontal scroll, okay. So let's go back to the code. So inside the home screen, so I'm just going to copy this because I had to put it outside the column. So I'm just going to put this right here. All right. So this is where we're going to render that products section. All right. So let's do that. We can simply make this. Okay. We're going to have a sized box. So inside this sized box, we're going to have a list view that's going to fetch these products from our mockdb. Okay, so it's going to fetch these products, and then we're just going to simply list them in here, and this is where we're going to use them from. So here we're simply going to give it the height of 250. Okay, so this is the height to fit your product card. Then we're going to give it a child. The child is what is going to be a list view, the builder. Okay, the builder. Then you can just do this. Then in here we're going to give it parameters, which is going to be the context and the index. Okay, so say context and the index. All right, okay, let me remove one of these. But for us to access these, we have to know the item count. Okay, so item count. Then for us to do that, we have to make a product. Okay, we already have this product. Okay, the product, so we have to import this product object. So we have to make a products object, so simply say product. Okay, product, then we call it products. Okay, have we imported this? Okay, so let me even just convert this to a stateful widget. Okay, all right. Okay, let's change up a few things. We have to do it differently. So we say final, then we say product. Then in here we say product, this product that we imported from the product model, dot. Then we're going to use this dot to access all the products. So come here. Okay, then we can go here. Sorry about that. We can say products dot, then we say length, to get the length of the products inside in this project, the products we have in this project. So yeah. Okay, what's wrong here? Oh, we have a typo here. So here we say products, then that error is gone. So the next thing is we're going to come inside here. Let me format this. All right, so inside here we're going to have a product. They will say products. Then we use the index in the parameters, so index. Then inside here we're simply just going to return the sized box. So inside the sized box we're going to give it a width of 160. Then we're going to give it a child of the product card we're from making. So product card. Okay. All right. So product card. Then we give it a semicolon here. All right. So let me format this again so that it's easier to read. So this is going to expect a parameter. Okay. So in here we're simply just going to say we're going to import this. This again is going to expect a parameter. Okay, so it's going to expect an argument, not a parameter. Okay, so this argument we're simply just going to replace it with this, say product. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so I bet we're done with this part. We just have to go and fix the product card. But before we do that, since we said this has to be in a horizontal scroll, so we have to give it this property. So we can come back here. Then we can say a scroll direction. Then scroll direction, then we give it axis horizontal. Then we can give it some padding as well. Okay, so we give it a padding of with edges symmetric and horizontal 16. So I think now we can try to check what we have. But okay, yeah, let's see what we have so far. So boom, there we go. So far so good. So we have these cards staggered together. So when you scroll, it's having a horizontal scroll, but it looks so bad right now. And as you can see, this one is overflowing from its container. So to do that, let's fix this. We're going to give it the padding here on the sized box. So we can simply wrap it with the padding, then padding, then okay, padding, then we say only, then we give it the right. Okay, we're going to give it 12. So let's do this. All right, so as we can see, the cards are now separated. So we can just simply go back to the product card and continue styling it so that we have normal designs. As we can see, this image is actually bigger than the other images, so it's kind of overflowing from its container. Okay, so let's go back here. Inside we can come inside the container that we have for our image. So here we can say we can give it the width. The width we can give it double dot infinity. Then we can also give it the fit. Here we say box fit. Dot we say contain. Okay, sorry for that. We say contain. All right, so the next properties that we're going to have are these. They're going to be inside another column. So simply cut this, then I can simply say column, another column, and children. Then I paste them in here. All right, so this is helping us keep track of where we are in the project. So let's do that. We're going to fix this in a bit, so let's get going for now. So the next thing is the name. So we're simply going to have text. Okay, then inside this text we're going to say product dot name, just like that. Then we have to style this name a bit, so simply say style, then text style, text style, and inside this we're going to give it a font weight, and we just say font weight. Okay, we give it a font weight of bold. Then the next thing is we're going to go on the price. All right, so price, then it's also going to be a text, so we can just simply copy this, proceed, and here. So as you can see, we can go back here. The price is just a normal regular text. So here we forgot the thing. Then we can say price. Okay, so the price, we have to convert it. So let's do this. Then we just have to wrap it inside these braces. Then we have to put it in quotation marks. And in here, since we're using dollars, we're going to use dollar as the currency. So we give it a back slash. Then we just convert it to string as fixed. Then we give it, okay, so then we give it to 2. Okay, that's the decimal places. All right, let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. So we're going to fix these images later on because they're overflowing from their containers. So we're going to fix that in a bit. Okay. All right, let me just fix it. So we can come here on the image and then just wrap it with an expanded, then just refresh this. All right, so that's what we have. We can go down here, then we can complete. So as you can see, it looks something like this, but nothing completely like it. Okay, so we're going to fix this in a bit. So we have these designs right here. We have to make them like this. So let's go back here. Okay, now we have to have the ratings and the add to cart button. Okay, so let's go here. So this is actually going to be a row. So say a row, then we give it children. Then inside here, so inside this row, we're going to have this row right here. The row that's going to have the star and the ratings. So let's do that. So in here, we're going to have, say, ratings and icons. Okay, so say row, then we give it children. Okay, then we're going to have the icon. So icons, icon, then give it a child. No, not a child, sorry. Say icons dot star. Then we give it a color. We say colors dot amber. Okay, and we just click this with color. Okay, then we can give it the size of 20. Okay, then the other child of this row is going to be the ratings. So I'm just simply going to copy this, the price. Not really. Let me just get this. Okay, then paste it right here so that the video doesn't take much time. Then product name dot rating. Okay, then we say to string, just convert it to string. Okay, then I can just remove the styles for this one, I think. Okay, let me remove the font weight from bold. Then I just give it a font size of 18. Then 18. All right, so let's just refresh this. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then the next thing is we're going to have outside this row, that's inside this row, we're going to have the add button. Okay, add button. So this is going to be a container. Then we're going to give it the width of 30, then the height of 30 as well. Then the next thing is we're going to give it a decoration. It will say box decoration over again. Then inside here, we can give it the color of black. Then we give it a border radius of circular 16. Okay. So the next thing is we're going to have the child here. So this child is going to be a font or some icon. So here we say icons, icon. We say icons, icons dot add. Then we're going to give it a color of white. Okay. Then we give it a size of 12. All right. So let's try to reload this and see what we have. All right. So this is what we have so far. Then we just have to separate these three. So we have to separate this from this row. Okay, so let's make this one a bit bigger. Let's make it 18. Okay. All right, so we simply come here and give it the main axis alignment of space between. Okay, so let's reload this and see the changes. Okay, so that's what we have. Then we can just style the entire thing now. So as you can see, these properties are different from these that we have here, the styling. So we have to move these to the start, as you can see there in the middle. So we can go back here and just simply give this column a cross axis alignment of start. All right, then let's see what we have. All right, then we can just wrap it inside the padding. So we give it some padding at the edges there. So padding. Okay, we just leave it as it is with edge insets of all. We just give it the padding on all sides. Let me do this. All right, so the only thing that we have remaining is the spacings, okay, of these elements. Okay, so we can give it some space between the name and the price. So we can come here and say sized box. Then we give it a height of, let's give it a 4. Okay, then we just put this here as well. All right, so let's see what we have. All right, so that is done. We are done with our trusted picks. Now we just have to give it some space between here. Okay, so let's go to the home screen. Between here, and just give it a sized box. We can just give it a size box with height of 20. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's reload this. All right, so we're done with this part. So the next part we have to deal with is the recommended. So this part right here. And I know I did screenshot it, so I have to redo that, but we can obviously do the bottom navigation bar. So let's start with that. All right, so in this section of the video, we're going to make this bottom navigation bar. So to do that, we're going to go back to the widgets folder. Where is it? So the widgets folder. Then in here, we can create a new file called bottom navigation. Dot. So this is actually going to be a stateful widget. So SD All right, so then you simply just name it bottom navigation bar as it has suggested right there on top. So actually this is going to, we're going to wrap this inside this, we're going to make a scaffold. So we go here, we'll say scaffold. So in here, this is where our navigation bar will be. So BTM. So then we can go out here. So this is where we're going to put the selected index. So let me show you. So this is the index 0 of the selection of this list that we have inside our bottom navigation bar. So we have the home, then we have the cart, then we have the profile. The profile is actually not having anything. I don't know if you guys can build up on that. I'm just going to build the cart screen. So the first screen that we have is the home screen, which is right here that we have. Then the next thing we're going to have to create is the recommended after the bottom navigation bar. So let's focus on the bottom navigation bar for now. So there, we're going to have a variable called selected index. All right, so we have actually initialized it to the first index, of which is the home screen. So let's go for the next thing. So the next thing is we're going to have a list of widgets. So we're simply going to say list, then widget. Then this is going to be like this. It's going to be called screens. Okay. Then, okay, so this is where we're going to put our screens. So in here, we're going to put the home screen as the first index. So home screen. All right, so we separate them with a comma since they're in a list. So the home screen, you actually have to import it there. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to have, of which we currently don't have, is the cart screen. So let me make the cart screen as well. So we simply go to the screens, I mean, then we say cart screen dot. Then this is going to be a stateful widget as well. Then we simply call it the cart screen. All right. So we can simply go back to the bottom navigation bar. Then you can simply get the cart screen. Cart screen. Then we just import it there on top as well. Okay. Then the next thing is we're just going to simply have a text widget, which we're going to say profile. Okay. All right. So this is it for now. Then we can actually just center this. So say center. Why did I do that? Okay, profile. All right, so next thing is we're going to have a function that is going to run the logic. Say on, if we tap on the, let me go here. So if we tap on the cart screen, it has to navigate us to the cart screen. If we tap on the profile, it has to display that centered text, all right, at the center of the screen. So if we tap on the home screen, then it takes us back to the home screen and we get to see this, all right. All right, so say function. And again, I'm going to push this code to GitHub so you can access it. So say void, since it's not going to return anything, say on tap. Okay, we call it on item tapped. So this is going to take an argument. So the argument is going to be of type int, and then it's going to be called an index. All right. So here we're going to have a set state. Okay, set state, and then this set state is going to simply say selected index, of which is this one on top here. All right. So selected index, then we just assign it to the index, just like that. All right. So inside the body, we're simply going to have the screens. Okay, so sorry, we're going to have a body, and this body is going to have the screens. All right. So the screens, then this screens is simply just going to take the selected index. All right. selected index. Okay. All right. So the next thing we have is the bottom navigation bar. All right. So here we're simply just going to say bottom navigation bar. Then we say bottom navigation bar, just like that. And let's format this. All right. So this is where the items are going to be. All right. And the current index, they're on top, so that we can get to navigate to the selected index. Then the type, okay, and then the selected item color, then the unselected item color. Then we're going to have the show unselected labels, so which is going to be true as well. So with all that said, let's go back here. So these items are the ones that we're going to have down here. So let me go back. So let me put these on top to make the code look better at least. So we're going to say current index. Then the current index is going to be the selected index. All right. Then the next thing is we're going to have the on top. So on top, then this is going to call this on tapped item. Okay, on item tapped. So on item tapped, we simply call that function. Then the next thing is we're going to give it a background color. So the background color is going to be colors.white. If we look at this, we have the white background, and then there's this simple grayish gray in the background of the main app. All right, so we've given it the background color. Then the next thing is we're going to have the type of the bottom navigation bar. So we say type. Then this type is going to be bottom navigation bar type. Then we set it to fixed. All right. Then we go on the next thing. Then we're going to have the selected item color. Okay. Then we're going to use the colors that we have in our constants. So we simply say app colors. Then this is the first time we're using this in this file. So we simply import it. Then we're going to use the button color. All right. So the next thing is we're going to show the unselected. So unselected item color, right? So we're still going to use the same custom colors that we have. So app colors. Then we give it let's give it the discount color. Okay. So like this, these are the unselected ones. So this is the selected one currently. So it has a sort of a darkish green, and then this is having a pale sort of a lightish green. All right. So then the next thing is we're going to show unselected labels. Then this is going to accept a boolean. So right now we're going to have the items. So this is going to be like this. All right, as you can see, that error is gone. So inside the items, we're going to have the bottom navigation bar items. So we say bottom navigation bar item. All right, so let me format it. All right, so the first thing it's going to expect is the icon, as we can see here. So simply going to say icon. Then we're going to use this icon right here, okay, from the Lucid icons that we had installed earlier. Then in here, we can simply say Lucid icons, then we say home, right? Okay, then the next thing we're going to have is the label. All right, so as you can see here, we have this label called home. Right, so let's go back here. So the label is simply just going to be home. So for us to see this, let's go to the main.dart. So we're simply just going to replace this with the bottom navigation bar widget. All right, so we've replaced it with the bottom navigation bar widget. So let's go back here, and then hopefully we see the changes. So let me try to reload this. All right, so then we have this error right here. So this simply means the expected number of widgets inside this list is less than 2. So let's put it here. Let's put them here. Then let's try to reload this. I've just actually duplicated the ones that I have right here. So which is just going to simply have a bunch of home screens down here, the bunch of home widgets down here. So let's go to that. Let's wait for it to reload. All right, so as you can see, this is what we have so far. So let's format these. Okay, so here we're simply going to have an icon for the cart. So here I'm going to use the default icons. So I'm just simply going to say icons, then shopping. All right, so icons, shopping cart outlined. Then this is going to simply be called cart. Right, so we can refresh that, then we'll see it. Then here we're simply going to use the default icons as well. Icons dot you can say person outlined, then we can simply just call this profile. All right, okay, let me save this and reload. All right, so this is what we have so far. So we can simply navigate to the cart screen. So the cart screen as a placeholder, as we can see here. So we can simply just retain a column here. All right, so we have a white screen right now, and as you can see, the cart screen is the word the text cart screen is right there on the top right there. Then we can go to the profile, which is just going to be a centered text widget saying profile. All right, so we're actually done with this. So the next thing we have to work on is the providers, so that when we add items, we can see them reflect on the cart, as we can see. So let me just be using this image for the point of reference. So we can see the number of the items inside the cart, then we can navigate to there, then we can see the properties of the products being put in the cart. Okay, so we're going to use provider for that. So let's go back here. But before we do that, I actually feel like we can deal with the recommended products for now. We make these recommended products. So let me zoom out a bit. So we started with the trusted picks. Now we have to deal with the recommended products as well. So this is just going to be a list of 3 foods. So we can, I think we can handle this for now. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's go back here. But before we do that, we have to follow the same process, that procedure that we had followed for creating this. So we have to create a model just like this one. So inside here, we're going to say recommended. Product dot. Then it's just simply going to be a class, and then we're going to call it recommended product. So it's just going to be the same process. We're going to have the properties here, then a constructor, then we're going to deserialize this data, okay, to a dot object. Then we're going to serialize it. Then we're going to have a list of objects I mean, okay, down here, just like the same procedure that we had followed here. So properties, constructor, deserialize from JSON to a dot object, then we serialize it back to JSON. Then we're going to have a list of products from to give a mock DB. So if you're fetching this data, if you'll be fetching your data from an API, you can do that. All right, so for us, we're just having dummy data that we're putting in here so that we can get to display it on in our application. So let's get started. All right, so we say products, the properties. So these are the properties that we have. Then we are simply just going to have the, sorry about that, that's Copilot back again. All right, so let me just turn off my data. All right, so then the next thing is we're going to have the constructor. So you see these errors will go. Then we have the constructor there. So the next thing is, so in this constructor, we've just required everything like we did in the previous model. So then the next thing we have to do is just serialize this data. We serialize this object from JSON to a dot object. So let's do that. All right, so do the deserialize. So this supposed to come here. Okay, then serialization comes after this. All right, so sorry about that. All right, so next we serialize this data. All right, so we serialize it, which is just us converting it to a map. Now then have a list of these objects that I had used in my previous project. So just like the way we've done with this one, I'm going to put them in here as well. All right, so we have a list of recommended products. Then we're going to go with recommended products. So with this done, once we're done with the model, we can simply go back to the widgets. So here we're going to make a, like we did with the product card, we're going to make a card for the recommended products, just like this one. So this is the design that we're going to follow. We're going to make the design look exactly like this. So let's go back here. So with this one, we have the location, the image, the price, the rating, the kitchen name, and the ID. This what's right here. And even though I left the kitchen being the same name. So all right, so let's get started. So firstly, we're going to have the recommended product card. Okay, so this is going to be a stateless widget. We will say recommended product card. So in here, it's simply going to return a container. Then down here, we're simply going to give it a height of 150. Then the width of which we want it to take the width of almost the entire screen. So it's going to be double.infinity, right? So the next thing is we're going to give it a box decoration. So simply say decoration, then box decoration, box decoration. Then we're going to give it a color. A color is simply going to be white. Then the next thing is we're going to give it a border radius with 16. Okay. Then we're going to have a child in here. So the child is going to be a row. Let's go back here. So this is going to be a row, and then we're going to have a column. Okay. Then I think we're going to have another row in here. So all right, let's do this. Let's get. I think this is going to be a row, and then we're going to have columns in there. All right, so let's get there. The row, then the row is going to have children. So this is going to be the child. Okay, so that error is gone. So we go in here. So the first child of this row is going to be the image, mg. All right, so to have the image, we're going to use the clip rect. Then inside this clip rect, we're going to have the border radius. Sorry, this is supposed to be 2 R's. Clip rect. Then we're going to have the border radius. then it's going to be circular with 18. All right. Then the next thing is we're going to have the child, which is going to be the image. So simply say child. Then we say image dot asset, since we're doing this with the local images that we have. So in here, but before we do any of this, so we have to fetch these properties from here, right? So we have to make an object. All right, so we come here on top, we say final, then we say recommended product, then we can say rec products. We can just let's just give it this. Then here we just have to require this. All right, so we're having an issue here, so we have to import this. All right, so once that is imported, you can come here and we'll use this instance right here. So it's a recommended product dot, then we just fetch the image right there. All right, so far so good. Then let's give it a height, say height, which is going to be to fill up the entire the entire container that's having it. Say okay. Next we're going to give it a width of 200. All right, then we're going to give it a fit, which is going to be box fit contain. All right, so far so good, right? All right, so the next thing is let's go back here. All right, so we're going to have to display this on the home screen. So we can simply go back to the home screen, and then this is actually just going to be under this one, the size box, okay, which is the having the products. So here we say recommended products. All right. Firstly, we give it a size box with a height of 10. Then we have to write this text. So the text is going to simply look like this. It's right here, recommended. Then we have this down here. So let's go back here. Okay. Then we give it a style. Then we're simply going to use Google Fonts here. Google Fonts. Then this is going to be Roboto. With a font size of 20, with the color of black. All right, with the font weight of 500. All right, so let's reload this. All right, so as we can see, this is like in the middle of the screen. So let's go back here. As we can see, this is on the left. So we can simply just come here and wrap this inside a padding. All right, and padding, then we can simply give it a padding of dot only. Then left, we give it 16. All right, so let's reload this. All right, so we can go back here in the column. Then we give it the main axis alignment of start. No, not the main axis. We give it a cross axis alignment. Okay, the cross axis alignment of start. All right, so let's reload this. All right, so there we go. We forgot to make this to start. So everything else was just being put on the middle. All right, so far so good. So the next thing is we are going to try to render this right here, because it's just simply going to have images for now, because we haven't added any other properties here. So it's just the image. Then the next thing is we're going to add these other properties. So let's go back here. Okay, to the home screen. So here, this is the recommended products. All right. yet again, we're going to have a list view. Okay, so list view dot builder. Okay, so let's go back here. Then we're going to have a shrink wrap. So shrink wrap, which is just going to constrain the height to only what's needed. All right. So we'll say simply give it to true. Then the next thing is we're going to give it a physics. So physics, then it's going to be never scroll physics. So we disable the internal scrolling. So we'll say never scroll physics. All right. Then the next thing is we're going to have the item count. So item count. So since we don't have the instance of the instance of the recommended products, so we say final recommended products dot sorry. Then we come here. Then we say recommended. We have to get them from this model. Okay. Product dot, then we get that list. So we say recommended products, right? So inside the, let's go back here. So inside the recommended products, we simply just got this. Okay. Then we can go down here. And in here, we say, recommended products dot length. So it gets the length of the products that we have. Yeah, so the next thing is we're going to work on the item builder, right? So this is going to be like this, item builder. Then we get the context. And then we access the index as well. We'll put it right there. Which is, we're going to make a new list, right? So say rec product, then we say recommended products, then we access the index. So in here, we're going to get the child. We're simply going to return the recommended cards. I don't know how to spell recommended. Just found that today. Recommended. Okay. Product card. Then in here, we simply just give it this, the rec product. All right, so there we go. All right, so this is what we have so far. So next thing is we just simply wrap this with the padding. All right, so let's wrap it with the padding. Then in here, we're going to give it symmetric. Then, okay, so inside here, we're going to give it both horizontal and vertical. So we say horizontal, we give it 16. Then the vertical axis, we give it 8.0. Right, so let's reload to see what we have so far. Right, so no error so far. So this is what we have. All right, so we have these. Now, the only thing that we're lacking is, let's go back here. The only things that we're lacking is the other properties. So since we have the images already, now we have to get the other properties. Then from there, we're going to go into the providers where we start handling the state management for our application. So let's go back here. Go back to the recommended card. So the next thing is we're going to have the naming properties, right? So here we're going to have a column. So column, and it's going to have children. So let me format this a bit. All right, so inside the columns, the first thing the first thing we're going to have is the name and the rating. So this is going to be a row. Okay. All right. So I've written this the blueprint in the background. So what we're going to have is this row with the name and the ratings. Then we're going to have the kitchen, then the location, and then we have the row for the price and the button. So let's go back here. So the first thing is we have a row. Okay, the row is going to have children. All right. So inside the children, the first thing we're going to have is the name. All right. So let's the text. Then inside this text, we're going to have the recommended product dot. Then here we get the name. All right. So we're going to style this a bit. Okay. So simply do this. Then we'll give it an overflow. Okay. Overflow. Then we say text overflow. Then we say ellipsis. Then we give it the style. We give it a style, which is going to be Google Fonts. What have I done? Okay, let's say Google Fonts. Then we say Roboto. Then we style it a bit. So we're going to give it a font size of 20. Then the next thing is we give it a font weight of 600. Font weight. All right, so like that. All right, so I think we can check how it's looking like right now. All right, so as you can see, we have blue cakes and choco. All right, so the next child of this is going to be the rating. All right, so it's also going to be, let's see what we have. So this is also going to be a row. So we're going to have this row of the number of the ratings and the star inside this container right here. So let's go there. So first thing is we create a container widget. Okay, so the container widget is going to be of width. We give it 50. All right, so when we give it the box decoration. All right, so next we give it a color, of which is amber with alpha 25. All right, so next thing is we give it a border. Okay, so the border is going to be on all sides of the container. Then it's the color is going to be amber. So this amber has a little bit of a lightish shade, just like this, like this. All right. So inside this container, we're going to have the border radius as well. Okay, border radius with circular of 10. Then next thing is we're going to have a child, which is just going to have a row that's going to have children. So the children of this row is going to be the star and the rating. All right, so firstly we start with the icon, this icon right here. Okay, then the icon is going to be this is a star icon. Yeah, so it's going to be a star. Let's start. Then it's going to have a color of amber as well. So give it color. Then color, you simply colors dot amber. Then the next thing is we give it a size of 15. Right. And then the next thing we are going to have is the ratings. The rating, I mean. All right, so I'm going to have a text and you simply get the recommended product dot rating. Right. Then it's going to have a style. And we say text style. text style. Then we just give it a font size of let's say 15. Okay, then this is going to continue having an error here if we have to convert it to string, right? So let's see what we have so far. All right, so this is what we have so far, and yeah, we're getting closer to actually having this. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. So the next thing is we're going to have the kitchen name right here, this Bob's Kitchen. So that's going to be the kitchen name. Then after the kitchen name, we're going to have the location. All right, so kitchen name and location. Okay, so the kitchen name is just going to be a standalone text widget. So let's go back there. It's not going to be in any row apart from the parent row that we have. So here we say text, then we say recommended product, then we pick the kitchen name, right? Then we're going to style this using Roboto as well. So we could simply go here, we say style, then we call it Google Fonts, Google Fonts, Roboto. All right. Oops. All right. All right. So font size, which is going to be 18. Then we'll give it a font weight of 300. Since it's not that having that much of a font weight. Uh, 300. All right. Then the color, we say colors, the gray. Then we give it a shading of 500. All right. So let's see what we have. All right. So the all Bob's Kitchen. So next thing is we're going to have the location row, which is going to have this icon and the text as well. So okay, I think we can just copy this row right here. Then we just edit it. Okay, this is right there. Okay, so here we're going to change this to a lucid icon. So here we simply just going to say lucid. Sorry about that. Google Fonts issues again. Lucid icons. Then we have to import this. Okay, lucid icons. Then we use the same one that we have there on top. Let me do this. Okay, we had the map pin. Simply say a map pin. All right. Then we just simply change the colors. So this has to have a size of 20. So let's give it a size of 20. In the colors, we change it to gray, which is going to have a shade of 500. So gray, then 500. Actually having issues with the spelling. Okay, with the spellings these days because coming from Tailwind CSS as well, which has weird issues. So let me remove this constant here. Spelling issues with gray because it uses an A here where there's an E. All right, so here we just come here and remove this. Then we can put the location. Okay. Then text overflow. Say let's say overflow, not text overflow. Okay. Then we say ellipsis as well. Then the style is simply going to be Roboto from Google Fonts. Simply say Google Fonts dot Roboto. All right. Then in here we're going to have the font size, and we give it 18. Then we have the font weight, which is just simply going to be 300. Okay, forgotten something here. W300. Then the colors, simply say colors is going to be going to give it a gray of 500. So this is supposed to be color. Okay, then we can format the document. All right, so let's reload and see what we have. All right, so we have the location there. So lastly, we come here. Lastly, we have this final row, and let's go back here. So this is the Google font thing because I've turned off my internet, so it's giving issues. All right, so we can come down here and the price and button row. So here we're also going to have a row. Okay, simply say row. Going to have children. All right, so we're going to have the text, and the text is going to be for the price. So the price and the button. So let's go here. We can just simply copy this and put it here. Then we just remove the overflow. And in here, since we are going to fetch the prices, we get to have this. All right, so here we give it a backslash. We're going to use dollars, and we say recommended. Just product, then we say price. So we have to fetch the price here. Then we convert it to string as fixed. Then we give it 2 places. All right. So far so good. Then we're going to change the color. The color is going to simply be black from the design. Okay, let's remove this. The color is going to be black. Then we change the font weight to 600. Then we leave the font size as is. So let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then the next thing is we go inside here, down here. Then this is where we put the button, right? So this is going to be a container. Sorry about that. Then we give it the width. So we give it a width of 80. Then next thing is we give it a decoration. So here's the box decoration. So in here, we're going to give it the border radius, which is going to be 16. All right. Then we can go inside here, give it a child. So from our design lately, from what we've been designing through this entire application, you see that in here we have a row as well. So let's simply go in here. So we give it a row. Then this row is going to have children. Okay. Then the first child is going to be, let's go here. The first child is going to be the add icon, and then we have the add text there, right? So firstly, we have the icon. Sorry about this. Then in here we say icons, then dot add. Then we can give it a color of white. Colors dot white. Okay. Then the next thing is we give it a size of 28. And we remove one of the commas. Then in here, we can give it the color. We give the color to the container. Say colors dot black. All right. So next thing is we can just come here and just copy this text for us not to waste much time. So here we give it a comma and we paste it here. Then here we can simply do this and say add. Then we just change the colors to white. All right. So now let's see what we have. So we can go here, hot reload. All right, so this is what we have so far. So next thing is we just have to style these. So we can come out here. So, but firstly, before we do that, we have to wrap this inside an expanded. Okay. So we come here and wrap it. Sorry, this is that Google font thing. Here, then expanded. Then again, we wrap it with a padding. So we're going to give it some padding of symmetric. Okay, say symmetric. Then we give it, should be symmetric as 2 M's. So give it another M. Symmetric, and then it's going to be horizontal. Okay, so we come here and say horizontal, then we just maintain the 8.0. Right, so we can come down here in the column and give it a cross-axis alignment of start. Okay, then we reload it. Okay, then we go to we give it the main axis alignment of center. So main axis alignment, then we give it to center. All right, like that. Then we can come down here in the row. Then we give it some space between. So which is just simply going to use the main axis alignment. So we just copy this, put it here. Then we simply say space between. Okay. Then let's reload this. That's okay. So we have this, and I hadn't noticed how to hot reload it. I had to restart it because these changes were not taking place. So next thing is we have to style this as well. So we can come down here. Okay, on the price and button row. So here we give it the main axis alignment of space between as well. Okay, then we just rename it to space between. All right, let's hot reload this. All right, so this is what we have. Let's see. We just need a little bit of some spacing between these two. And then we also put some spacings in here as well. So here, let's go down here. Give it the size box. Okay, we give it a size box with width of 20. So let's see what we have. Sorry about that. So let me just copy this size box. Sorry, this Google font thing is coming back. Then we just put it between the icon and the add text. Then we reduce this to 8 and see what we are going to have. So let's reload this. All right, so this is what we have so far. And I think we're done with this. Now we have to deal with the state management of which we're going to use the package called provider as we had installed it earlier. So we're going to use this for the state management. So to do that, we're going to go to the models. So inside the models folder, all right, so simply call it cut item dot, then it's going to be a class. Then we say cut item. So inside here, we're going to do it like most of the models that we are having here. So we're going to start with the properties for the products inside the cart, then the constructor, then we're going to have the copy with. So this is a method that allows a copy of the current cart item while optionally changing the quantity. So this is useful in state management and when decreasing or increasing the quantity of an item in the cart. So we're going to use a copy with. Okay. So firstly, we start with the properties. We're going to have the string name, the ID, the price, the image, and the quantity of the products inside the cart. So this is not in construct. All right, so this is not in constructor. So we start with we do the constructors here. So we get the constructor and then we require everything in here. Then we set the quantity to 1. All right, so the copy with, we use a copy with method to create a new cart item with the updated quantity. So we say cart item. Then we say copy with. Then in here, well, we give it quantity of type int. And say quantity. Then in here we do this. So we just return a cart item object. So cart item. Okay. So here we do this. Let's format this. All right, so the ID, we keep the existing ID, we keep the existing name, we keep the existing price, we keep the existing image as well. And then we have the quantity, quantity, then we say quantity as well, which is of type int, this quantity right here. So we're going to use a new quantity if provided, so otherwise we use the current one. All right, so to do that, we do this dot quantity. All right, and we put a semicolon here, then here we use a comma. All right, so this is the cart item, but then nextly we have to go to the provider. All right, so to do that, to make the provider, we go inside the providers folder, then we say cart provider dot. Okay, we say class, we'll say cart provider. Then here we say extends change notifier. Extends, all right, like that. Then in here, we're firstly going to have a private map to store the cart items using their ID as the key. So this makes the lookup and the updates and the deletions so efficient. So the first thing is we're going to say final map, then string, then we call the cut item. Okay, it's imported up there. So cut item, then we say cut items, then we do this. Okay, so next we have the public getter to choose to expose the cut items map. So this will allow us other parts of the app to read the cut data, but not only, and to modify it, not to modify it directly. Okay, so it's going to read the data but not to modify it directly. So here we simply go with the same thing. It's a map, you would say a string. Okay, this is the public, and then we say cut item. Here we say get, then we say cut items. Okay, which points to the cut items that we have in the private map. The items. Okay, all right, so to make things easy, I've written a simple blueprint here. So first we're going to add to cart, remove from cart, clear cart, then we display the cart count, then the total price. So all right, so let's start with the add to cart. So we're simply going to come here and say void, since it won't return anything, so say add item. And in here we simply say cut item, then we call it item, and come inside here. So if the item is already, if it does already exist in the cart, we update its quantity. So that's what we're going to do. So we say if, okay, let's say cart items dot, we say contains key, Okay, what's wrong here? No, it's not items, it contains key. Then inside here we're going to have the item dot id, contains key. All right, so here we do this. So inside the if statement we say cut items dot, then we can update if it contains the, okay, if it does already exist, if the item already exists in this inside the cart, so we update it. So update, then we give it the key. So the key is going to be item dot id. Okay, then let's see what to update. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to the next line. Then in here we're simply going to say existing, then we say existing dot copy with, then we say quantity, then existing dot quantity as well, then plus 1. All right, then give it a semicolon here, then we come out here and say else. So if the item is not yet in the cart, add it with we get to add it with an initial default value of 1, right? So let's go here. So if it's not in the cart, we add it with the initial value of 1. So we go back to the cart provider. So here we simply say cart items, then we say items, it's item dot id. Okay, then we come out here and say equals to item. then we can just simply come out here and just notify the listeners, okay, so that it updates through the entire application. So notify listeners. All right, so we're done with the adding to cart. Then the remove from cart. So this is going to remove the item from the cart using its ID. So we'll say remove item. Then here it's going to have a string, string, then ID. Then I'm going to say cart items dot remove. Then in here we just give it an ID, right? Okay, then we can just come out here and notify listeners. All right, so the next thing is we go to the clear cart, which empties the entire cart. So say clear cart. Then in here, this is not going to have any argument. So simply say cart items. Then say dot clear. Then again, we just inside here, we just notify the listeners. All right, so that's it with that one. Then we get the cart count. So this actually returns the number of unique items in the cart, not the total quantity. Okay, so say int get item count. Then we go here. Then in here, we're simply going to say cart items dot length. Okay. Then we can go down to the total. Okay. So we'll say double get. So this actually gets the total amount for the products inside the cart. So we'll say total amount. We'll say cart items dot values dot Ford. In here we do this. Okay, there's a typo here. And then inside here we give it the initial of 0. All right, so simply say sum. It will say item. All right, then say sum plus we'll say item dot price. Then we multiply it, right, by item dot quantity, just like that. All right, then here we give it a semicolon. So this is our provider so far. This is going to manage the entire state for the cart in our application. So the last part actually calculates the total price of all items inside the cart. So for each item, multiply the price by quantity, then sum everything up. All right, then this one just returns the number of the unique items in the cart, not the total quantity. Then this one, it actually empties the cart completely. Then this one will remove the item from the cart using its ID. Then in the add to cart, we check first if the item already exists inside the cart. Then we update its quantity. Then if the item is not yet in the cart, we add the item with its with an initial quantity of default, which is 1. Then we notify our listeners. All right. So let's go. Where is the main dot? So in the main dot, we're going to call to initialize our providers. So we're going to come here inside this, we just cut this. Then here we're going to say multi-providers in case you want to add other providers the time you'll be using this. Okay, providers, it's actually multi-provider, sorry. Then we just have to import this from our provider class, provider package. All right, so once that is imported, let me even remove this, we're not using it anymore. So once that is imported, we can come here. So here we're going to give it providers. Okay, since it's expecting a lot of providers. Okay, so here we say change notifier provider. Then create, we give it a blank function here. Then we do this. Then we simply just have to import the cart provider we're from making. Okay, say cart the provider. I'm sure this is how we named it. Okay, where is the provider? Yeah, cart provider. Then we put this here. Then here we can just simply import it. Okay, simply import it. All right, so then we can come out here and give it a child of my app. We put it back right there. So we're done with this. Then we have to include this state management throughout our application. So firstly, we're going to start with the product product card. So let's go here. All right, so right here, when we click on this button, it's supposed to show our the number of products that we've added to the cart. So let's go to the product card, right? So inside, where's the widgets? I'll say product card. So we go here. We can start from here. So we say final. Then we say cart provider. Then we say provider dot of. Then we say cart provider. So import this cart provider from our providers. Okay. Then we give it this. Then here we simply say context. And again, this is not a video about providers. So if you want that, we can make another video about that. So here we import this from our providers package since we've imported the providers class that we had made earlier. So here we're simply just going to go down to the button. Then this button, we're going to wrap it with the widget. Then this is what we call the gesture. We're going to call the gesture detector. Then we say on top. Okay, so on top, we're going to have an arrow function. So this arrow function is going to, we're going to say provider, cart provider, cart provider, then dot. Then we can select from everything that's inside the cart. So we can see add item. So inside here, we can import the cart items. So we say cart items from the cart items a model. This one right here. Okay, so cart item. We just have to import this. Okay, cart item. Then we do this. Then in here, we're just going to add the 4 required arguments. So let's do this. Okay, let me format this. All right. So the ID, we're going to use the same thing that we had used to access the other properties of the cart. The product. So we say product.name. So here we simply just have to say product, then .id, then product.name, okay, then the product.price. right? Then we have the image as well. So we simply say product dot image. Then we just put the comma here to remove that. So for us to have the number of products, the count of the products put inside the cart, we have to um, work on the logic for the cart. So let's go here. With that, we go to the bottom navigation bar. Okay, inside the widget, so we say bottom navigation bar. So in here, we do the same with the cart provider. So let me close this a bit. Then we can go to the product card, then go on top here. So here, we're simply just going to get this and just put it here. Then I just have to import these and this as well. So here, we're done with that. So here, we're going to have a condition. So if the selected index for the bottom navigation bar is 1, which is we all know a list starts from 0. So this is our 0 index. This is our first index. The one. This is our second index, so which is 1. Let's not confuse this. So if we are on the first the index 1, we don't want to show the bottom navigation bar. So let's do this. We say selected index. If it's equals to 1, then we give it this. We can say now. Then if it's not 1, we give it the bottom navigation bar right here. Okay. All right. So the next thing is we're going to cut this. Since we're going to have a stack, the icon for the products added to the cart is going to be on top here. So we're going to make it into a cart or into a stack. Sorry. So here we simply say, okay, we have the icon already. So we're going to put it to add a stack for the icon. So it says stack. Then this stack is going to have children. All right. You have to follow me on this. So put an icon there. So the first thing we're going to have is the icon. So then we can have an if statement here. So if the cart provider dot cart items is let's say if it's not empty, then we are going to display this positioned. So we say positioned. So inside this positioned, we're going to have what we're going to call a container. Okay. So, but before we do that, we're firstly going to state where it's supposed to be positioned. So we say right, and then we give it -8. Then top, we also give it -8. Then we give it a child, right? So the child is going to be a container, right? So this container is going to have a mean width. So for it to have that, we're going to give it a constraint. So we say constraints, then we say box constraints. Box constraints. So inside here, we're going to give it the mean width, the mean height, and yeah, just these two. So 20, then mean width, which is also going to be 20. So this is going to be some sort of a rounded container, right? Then inside the container, we're going to give it a decoration as well, then which is going to be box decoration. All right. So inside this box decoration, we're going to have the color from our app colors. Okay, these are the constants that we had. So which is going to be button color, right? Then the next thing is we're going to give it a shape, of which is going to be box shape dot circle. All right. Then lastly, we give it a child. Okay, we're still in the position we're supposed to be inside the container. So child for the container is going to be text. Then this text is actually going to be card provider. I'll show you in a bit. Card provider dot, then we say card items. Then we get the length. All right. Then we convert it to string. Sorry, not radix, string. All right. So far so good. Then here we can give it a style. So it's a style, text style. All right. So we give it a font size of 12. Then we give it a color of white. Colors with white. All right. Then we give it a font weight. Board. All right. So let me format this. Format document. Then let's reload to see what we have. All right. So we actually haven't added anything there. So let's go inside the stack and give it a clip behavior. So clip behavior, then we say clip dot none. Right. So let's try to reload this. Then we try to test if it's able to show the length of the products inside the cart. Okay. Sorry, this is that Google font thing again. All right, so let's try to add. Okay, as you can see, the item is added there. So we just have to center the text. So we wrap this with the center widget. So center, then we just reload this. So there we go. We've managed to put this off. So we can do this as well. Okay. All right. So far so good. But these we haven't added the functionality for the recommended as well. So that's what we're going to do next. So this is that Google Fonts thing. Don't let this bother you. So let's go to the recommended card. Okay. Okay. So here we're simply just going to do the same thing we did in the product card. So firstly, we're going to start with the provider. So get the provider. Then we go to the recommended, right? So here we get the provider here as well. Sorry, oh sorry, what have I done? Let me go to the product card. Let's copy this. All right, so then we just import this. Okay, then we also import the product, the card provider class. Then we can simply just go to the add button here. So we just simply do the same thing actually. So we wrap the container with the widget, and this is going to be a gesture detector. Right. So inside the gesture detector, we're going to give it the on tap. So the first thing we're going to have is this arrow function. Okay. So here it's going to point to the product provider as well. So what is it called? What did we call it? So simply just copy this and go back here. It's going to be cart provider. Then we say dot, then we say add item. Then inside here, we're going to import that cart item, the cart item, that cart item model as well. So it's a cart item. Then we come here and import it. Then we do this. Sorry. So here we just simply press on this and that the required for arguments. So this is going to be the same steps that we had done in the previous one. So I can just come here. Or I can just copy this cart item. Okay. And then I just have to replace this with the recommended product. Okay, so remove 1T. Just like that. All right, so let's try to reload this. Right, so let's try. So if we add this, okay, that's added. All right, so far so good, right? All right, so we're done with the functionality here, but when we go to the cart screen, we're not actually displaying anything. We don't have anything inside our cart, so this is what we're going to work on next. All right, so let's go here, the cart screen. Inside the cart screen, we're just going to remove this and replace it with the scaffold. The scaffold. Then we give it a background color. Okay, we give it a background color. Then we're going to give it a nav bar as well. The up bar. Then the up bar is actually going to have the title, okay, of which is just going to be the cart. And then it's also going to have a background color of white. All right, so the cart, we're going to have the text of center. Then we're going to have a leading. Okay, the leading is going to just have an icon button. So icon button, right? So let's do this. Firstly, the first argument it wants is the functionality of what it's going to do when pressed. Then the icon is going to be, so we can give it the icons. Then this is going to be from our Lucid icons package. So we'll say Lucid icon, the icons. Then we import this. Then we say arrow back, so that we go back to our home screen. So arrow left. Okay. Well, we're not going to start this, so we're actually going to just cruise through this. So here we give it the functionality. So it's going to be an arrow function as well. Then this is going to take us to the our home screen. So we'll say navigator dot push. Then get the context, then the route. Then we see material page route. Okay, what has happened here? Material page route. Then in here, we'll say context. Then this is going to points to our bottom navigation bar. Since is bottom navigation bar widget. All right, so it's going to point to our bottom navigation bar. So if we just straightly point it to the home screen, it's going to give us issues. It's going to go to the home screen and won't show any bottom navigation bar there, so it won't be able to navigate properly. All right, so we have that, so we can refresh and see what we have currently. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then we can just copy this, then put it inside here, then reload this so that we keep the colors consistent in our application. All right, so far so good. Then we can go outside the app bar, then go inside the body. So the body is going to have a column. Okay, this is so annoying. Column. Okay, it's going to have children. So in this file as well, we're going to have the provider. So let me just copy this. I don't want to keep repeating this. Let me just copy this. Right, so we put it here. So providers. Okay, then we import this from our package. Then I import the provider class as well. So here inside the column, the first child is we're going to have a condition first. So we say cat provider dot. Then here we can check if the cat items dot is empty. Then we can display, says can have a centered, imagine just spelled counter, and then we're going to give it a child. Then the child is simply going to be text saying cat is empty, or something that fancy. The cat is empty, right? All right, so we simply just give it let's give it some style. All right, so I've given it the style. So let me format this. I've given it a style, given it the font size of 25, then give it the colors of background button color from custom colors, then the font width, weight to bold. I don't know why I keep saying width. All right, so let me reload this. All right, so this is what we have. The cart is currently empty. So let me go back here and try to add something. So you see, the cart is not empty, but we just simply can't see what the products that we've added here to the cart. So, okay, Google font thing again. So let's work on that now. All right, so we can come here, then we all right, so let's add an expanded. Okay, I was thinking. Then inside the expanded, we can say we add the consumer widget. So consumer. So this has to do with the providers. Then inside the consumers, we say cart provider. Okay, just like that. Then here we do this. All right. So inside the cart provider, we are going to have a builder. So the builder, then here it's going to say context. That's going to have 3 arguments. So let me say cart. Then this is just going to be an empty one. So here, then we make it into a list view. All right. Then we do this here. So this list view is going to have children. All right. So children. Then we're going to say cat dot cat items dot values. Then we map them. Okay, so we map these values. So map, then here we're going to say the item, right? The item, then let me do this item. Let me say list tile. Okay, list tile like that. Then we're going to have the leading, which is going to be the image. But before we do that, we can convert this to list. This is going to be a list, right? So to list, okay. So what else are we supposed to do? So leading. All right, we're having an issue here. Well, let's change this and remove this as well. So here, a leading, the first thing we're going to have is an image. So image dot asset. So inside here, we're going to have an item dot, then we access the image using that. Sorry. And then the next thing is we're going to have the width of 100, then the height of 100 as well. Okay. Then we're going to have the fit. Then we say box fit. Then we say contain. Right. Okay, so we can get to see what we have before we mess this up a lot more. All right, so that's what we have so far. So the next thing is we're going outside the image. Then the next thing we have to have is all right, so next thing is the title, not the title color, it's the title. Then the title is going to have the name, which is going to be of type text. So we say item dot name, right? Then the next thing is let's have the subtitle of which is going to be text as well. Text, of which is just going to have the quantity, and quantity with user next will show the price. So say the item per price, okay, the quantity per price, I mean. So we say price dot to string as fixed, then we use 2 as well. Right, so far so good. Right, so the next thing is we're going to have is the trailing. The trailing, which is going to be an icon button. Okay, so this is going to have the logic first. So say on pressed, we say okay, we use an arrow function as well. We'll say cut dot, then remove item. Let me say items dot id. Okay, and in here we can come here and say icon. We say icons dot delete. All right, then we can give it a color. We use the app colors. Sorry, use our custom colors. So colors dot button color. Then we give it a size 40. Okay, so let's reload this. See what we have. Okay, so we add. Let me even go down here. Then we add as well. So let's check what we have. All right, so we have these two. And we can clear this. It's out of the cart. That is out of the cart as well. So the cart is now empty. So the last thing is we have to come down here inside the column. Then we have to add the total price and everything. Okay, so let's do that. So here we are going to give it a spacer. So it's a spacer. Okay, to give the space between the two sections of this cut screen. So next thing is we're going to have the cut provider. Dot cut items dot we say is empty. Okay, we have a typo here. Provider dot is empty. So if it's empty, we simply return now. And if we have things inside the cut, we return this column that I'm going to write here. Sorry. Right here. Okay. Okay, so we put a column here as well. Just put an empty column. Okay. So here we come down here and then say we give it a total row. Total. So here the first thing we're going to have is the sorry. Okay. Going to have a row. This row is going to have children. Then the first child is going to be text. It's just saying total. Total. Okay. Then we're going to style this. Okay, give it a style. All right, so we've given it a style of Roboto. Then we give it the black, then font size 20, then font weight of 600. Right, so we can just copy this same thing right here. Okay, since it's just simply going to have the same styling, then we give it here. And we can format the document. So here we are going to have the total price. So which is going to be in dollars. Then we say cut provider dot, then where is the total price, the total amount, right? Then we convert it to string as fixed. We give it 2 decimal places. All right, just like that. Okay. Okay, this is so far so good. Then after this row, okay, so let's see what we have first. Let's reload this. All right, so this is what we have. It's not looking so nice. So if we clear this, sorry about that. All right, so we add this, then we check here. So as you can see the price right there. So if we remove, the price updates us accordingly. So this is provider working. Then we do this, then the cart is empty. So the last thing we have to do is, I don't know if you noticed, this doesn't look so nice. So we're going to create another widget called the button. You can come here and see it's so annoying. So we can come inside the widget, then we create the button. So button, say widget dot, which is just going to be a status widget, button widget. Then it's going to be container, right? So it's just simply going to return a container. Then width, say double, so infinity. Then again, we're going to give it a height of 60. Right. Then the decoration, we give it a box decoration. So inside the box decoration, we're going to give it a color. So we're going to get the color from our custom colors, then which is going to be the button color. Then the border radius, simply say border radius. The circular, then we give it 10. Then in here, we give it a child center. Center is also going to have a child. Child is going to be text. And simply going to say checkout. Right. Then we're going to style this text. Okay, roboto. Then it has a Google font type of roboto. We'll give it colors. Then colors with white. Okay, there's a typo here. Then nextly, we give it a font size, give it a font weight of board, then the font size of 20. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then we simply just have to come to the cut screen and import it. All right, then come outside here, outside of the row. Then we give it the, what do we call this? What did we call it? The button widget. Okay, so say button. All right, so then we just import it. Okay, it's imported. Then we can just simply wrap this with a padding. Come here, then wrap with a padding. Okay, and just leave it as is. So let's try to reload and see what we have. All right, so let's add. So this is what we have so far. Then we just have to come here, then give it a space between. All right, so this is what we have. Forget the Google font. Right, so the row, we have to wrap this row inside the horizontal padding. So let's do that. Padding, and we say symmetric, and horizontal. Then we just give it 10. Okay, let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. Then this is our application. So yeah, we're done with this application. So I don't know, see you guys in the next one.